So I'm a connector, and my idea is going to complement many of the ideas you've heard today, particularly Brad's. But in order for me to present my idea, I'm going to need your help. And we don't have a lot of time because I only have 3 minutes, actually now 2 minutes and 46 seconds. But just imagine for a second that this is a library reading room where you're normally asked to stay quiet. Well, we're going to change that. For the next 60 seconds, introduce yourself to someone sitting next to you or someone you haven't met yet, and just say hello to each other. Maybe say something about what you do. There you go. Okay, we're going to stop for a second. Okay. How many of you would like to continue that conversation a little longer? Raise your hands. How many of you met somebody you might want to introduce to somebody else you know because they already told you something about their work? How many of you work in the field of education, or in the field of philanthropy, or in the field of technology? If you didn't know those things about each other, you wouldn't necessarily have met in a reading room. So what you just did is demonstrate a future vision for changing the culture of our libraries. And the reason why I think it's so important is because there's an opportunity that people have to connect with each other in libraries that they're not doing now. That's not to say that libraries are not already community centers and are not already important civic institutions, and in fact, as said earlier, the most underutilized piece of civic infrastructure we have. It's to change the way in which we interact with each other inside libraries as a cultural change, so that the makers, the learners, and the sharers can meet each other and build new communities, new ideas, new initiatives, and other kinds of programs that support themselves and support their communities. And I know this can work because I built a model like this. It's called Civic Hall. We started about 4 years ago. We had 1,000 members. It was an open space. Anybody was allowed to come. Didn't matter what their status was in life. They could come, use the space, but they couldn't leave their stuff. They could come and use the space and collaborate with anybody, talk to anybody they want. And in less than a year, the first year, we launched 60 nonprofit initiatives. And in the course of the 3 years that we've been operating, over 200 separate nonprofit initiatives were launched out of our space. Now multiply that by the thousands of public libraries that we have across the country, and we have an engine for community renewal that's not being tapped today. And so my idea is basically let's change the words quiet please to pleased to meet you. Thank you very much.